KSI versus Tommy Fury, the main event of the Prime card. I just saw the weigh-ins. A lot of energy from both men. It's gonna be an explosive fight. You have two very stubborn not kids, but men in their 20 early 30s or 20s, if that makes sense. Because Tommy's 24, KSI is 30, which is weird because like KSI doesn't feel older than Tommy. Tommy talks more mature, I guess, because KSI does this whole anime thing and it's weird sometimes. But yeah, KSI undefeated, Tommy undefeated. Tommy has around 8 years more experience than KSI as a boxer and way more fights than KSI. He had 10 amateur fights, I believe, where he went unbeaten, and 9 professional fights. KSI has only had 6 or 7 fights, out of which one was an amateur fight and one ended in a no contest, which was his last fight. Now the fight boils down to really two things. Will KSI land a big shot and stop Tommy Fury, or will Tommy Fury just outbox KSI and stop him later on or win a decision? I think it's more than that, personally. People are saying Tommy has a weight advantage. I really don't see the weight advantage for Tommy. I know he looks bigger, but Tommy, the highest Tommy's ever fought in his boxing career was 185 something pounds, something like that. The highest KSI has ever boxed in his professional career has been at 195 pounds. I don't see this whole weight advantage thing that everyone's saying. I know KSI's optimum weight is a bit lower because there's a height difference of 1 or 2 inches, but the weight difference I don't really think is going to play a huge part in this fight. I think Tommy's going to be 195-ish when he steps in that ring. KSI is going to be like 186, 187, 189, something like that. And I don't see the weight playing a huge part into this. Now KSI is the harder hitter, it seems, and Tommy has more skill. But when it comes to cardio, both have pretty good cardio. They've both been very long rounds. That made no sense. Tommy has been 6 rounds, 8 rounds, and he's looked like he has good conditioning, similarly to KSI, who went 6 rounds at 195 pounds against Logan Paul. And here he's going to go 6 rounds at 184 pounds, something like that, against Tommy Fury. So I don't think he'll have a problem with the cardio. I think both have good cardio. People saying that KSI is going to get tired. I think it's more likely Tommy gets tired, personally. But even that isn't that important to this fight. It mainly boils down to, can Tommy avoid the big shot from KSI, keep outboxing him to a decision or a late stoppage, or will KSI land the big shot and either drop Tommy Fury to a decision win, which can happen. He can keep dropping Tommy Fury and get a decision win like that, because if you drop someone in boxing, it's an immediate 10-8, and if you drop him twice in one round, it's an immediate 10-7, which is the equivalent of 3 rounds in boxing. So KSI can win a decision like that, but he can also knock Tommy out. And apparently Tommy has been knocked out by a bouncer or something like that, KSI said. So Tommy, obviously, like every other human, can be knocked out. It will be hard because Jake Paul landed several clean right hands on Tommy, and Tommy ate them, and Jake Paul's right hand has dropped the likes of Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, and I can go on and on, Ben Askren. Nate Diaz could got dropped with that left hook, to be fair. Now both these fighters have vulnerabilities. And Tommy's one of the things Tommy is vulnerable to is the left hook, and KSI, we saw, has a great left hook against face temper. And one of the things KSI is vulnerable to is the uppercut, and we've seen Tommy has a pretty decent uppercut in that Jake Paul fight. And so these shots are going to play a part into this. KSI did mention at the press conference that Tommy's going to be looking for the uppercut as counter. That is something I can see dropping KSI, because KSI, when he's throwing, he's very aggressive. He doesn't care defensively that much. He said, I'm going to eat shots and land mine to win, which I don't think is a great idea against Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury can be very good offensively. He puts punches and bunches and throws these very fast combinations. Now we'll get onto the main premise of the video, which is the prediction, obviously, because I'm just babbling on about what can happen. But I am a huge KSI fan, and I really like Tommy Fury as well. I will try and let my bias not affect the prediction, but it probably will, even without me knowing. I think KSI wins this fight personally. I think KSI just has more willpower, and even if the chips are down and if he's down 6 rounds in the final, down 5 rounds, and in the 6th round, he'll go for the knockout, and I believe he'll get it. Honestly, people said the same thing in the Logan Paul fight. Logan's more skilled. Logan's a bigger man. KSI won that fight. But the main reason I think KSI winning this fight, why I think KSI is gonna win this fight is because when you look at fights like Sean Strickland's Israel Adesanya, big upset, right? And you look at what happened there. Israel was more skilled. Israel was the bigger man. Israel had everything. But Sean Strickland had this unorthodox style that you can't really get sparring partners for, or you can't really train for either. And Tommy Fury will experience how KSI fights for the first time against KSI in that ring. So he has to be perfect the first time. KSI can imitate what Tommy Fury does through sparring partners, because Tommy is a very traditional boxer, he throws everything normally. KSI bounces in the ring, he does his whole Michael Venom Page thing, who he trains with, by the way. KSI trains with MVP. So I think KSI's style is going to confuse Tommy quite a bit, and KSI is going to land a few big shots. Tommy's going to be a bit wary of the power. I think eventually KSI is just going to start landing a few more in the later rounds. I think round 4 is where I see... Round 4 is somewhere around round 4 I see Tommy Fury getting dropped. And I think it goes to a decision and KSI wins because he dropped Tommy Fury around... I think he'll drop Tommy Fury twice and he'll box pretty well as well. And I don't think he's stopping Tommy Fury. I don't think Tommy Fury will allow himself to be stopped because he's also got a big ego as a boxer. And he's, in his mid-20s and, this whole male pride thing. I don't see Tommy Fury quitting at all in this fight or getting stopped. I see KSI dropping Tommy Fury twice in 2 different rounds. I think round 4 and round 6 are a pretty good call personally. And I think the points are going to change a lot because of that. Even if Tommy wins 4 rounds and KSI drops him twice in 2 rounds, it becomes a draw automatically. But I think the first round, you might see KSI come out a bit faster than he usually does. He's mentioned he likes to download data in the first round, which I don't like in a 6-round fight. In a 12-round fight, okay. In an 8-round fight, okay. If he does this in a 6-round fight against Tommy Fury, who is also a pretty quick starter, Tommy doesn't like to get in the fields. He's already there. So I think KSI is going to come out very strong in the first round. He's going to get a round or 2 before he drops Tommy Fury, which was my prediction later on. And I think the accumulation of an early round that KSI won, or early rounds, and the times he drops Fury in the later rounds, which I think will happen, because Tommy will start to get tired the way Tommy's acting. I just feel like he's going to get a bit more tired than KSI because he's saying I'm going to bully him and all that. And the whole ego there that is in Tommy Fury. He's angry that because of KSI, he couldn't see his wife and his kid for 10 weeks or something like that. I think emotions are going to play a part in this one, and Tommy's going to get a bit gassed, and definitely more gas than KSI. And I see KSI dropping him later on, and I see KSI winning a decision in this one. I'm going for the upset. I'm going to be recording my reaction live to this, inshallah, tomorrow, and I'm really excited for this fight. And I hope KSI wins. It is a pretty even fight though. Yeah, thanks for watching this predictions video. I'm going to be doing Logan versus Dennis as well right now, and hopefully the entire prime card. I don't have the energy for it, but I'll try and do it because I enjoy just talking about this. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and goodbye.